Consider about the pathogenic avian influenza. So this is highly pathogenic avian influenza virus caused by the subtype of H5 and H7 of type 1 caused the serious illness of the birds, and HPAI was also reported in polar bears. This is also reported in the polar bears and confirming the presence of virus in Arctic region. That is confirming the Arctic region. So avian influenza, that is also known as a bird flu, and we can say it is a bird flu, is a disease primarily affecting the birds and caused by the viruses and Orthomyxoviridin family. So the low pathogenic avian influenza virus can cause a mild illness, often unnoticed or without any symptom. The highly pathogenic avian influenza cause subtype of the H5 and the H7 and type 1A cause a serious illness in birds and the spread rapidly, resulting in high death rates. So threat to human health, most of the influenza virus is circulating in the birds as not zoonotic. It is not zoonotic, but that is from the birds. Okay. So however, the HPAI strain has the ability to infect the human, posing a threat, and a strategy to curb the spread of zoning and the compartmentalization are strategic tool and group of animal with specific health status for the international trade and disease prevention control. Highly pathogenic avian influenza that has affected the birds population in the mainland Antarctica for the first time. Scientists from the Sever Ochoa Molecular Biology Center of the Higher Council for Scientific Research has confirmed the presence of H5N1 virus causing the bird flu, and that is dead skull, and from the Primavera, the Antarctica base of the Argentinian scientist research station located the Antarctica Peninsula. Another confirmed case of the wandering albatross has also the reported, but on the bird Iceland is a British overseas of the Georgia. Now next one is this H5N1 has infected and killed million of the birds across the continents, and the presence of the variant has been confirmed in the northern and southern hemisphere. Now next one is, which of the following is a marine environment? Anoxis is accurately described. The marine environment is anoxic. So this is, they can result in the areas known as a dead zone. If there is a dead zones, that means where the oxygen level are too low, and in this place oxygen level that is too low, that's why support the most marine life. That's why it low to support the marine life, it do not support. So that's why Anoxis marine basin are the among the best candidate for deep sea carbon sequestering, and the term Anoxis marine environment refer to the parts of ocean where the oxygen level are extremely low, entirely absent. These conditions can occur naturally in the certain area exacerbated by the human activity, and these events can have a significant impact on the marine ecosystem, often leading to the death of the marine organism that require the oxygen for survival. And such fishes are most invertebrates. So deep ocean basin and fjords water at the great depth may be isolated from the atmosphere, and the process that introduce oxygen in the water, that was fission and invertebrates. Deep ocean basin water at the great depth may be isolated from the atmosphere, and the process that introduce oxygen like photosynthesis and leading to naturally occurring anoxic zone. There is a photosynthesis and leading to naturally occurring anoxic zone. These are the anoxic zone. Hypoxic and anoxic dead zones are, these are areas where the oxygen level has been dramatically reduced, often due to the human activity. And now we can say Black Sea is notable for the anoxic deep water. Its unique circulation pattern limit the mixing of surface water enriched with the oxygen with deeper water, resulting in a significant portion of the Black Sea below the cyclocline. Okay, so that is the Black Sea. And hypoxic and anoxic dead zone, these are the area where the oxygen level have been dramatically reduced, often due to the human activity. An infamous example of Gulf of Mexico dead zone caused primarily by the nutrient pollution, and this nutrient stimulate the excessive algae growth, When the algae die and the decompose, this process consumes the oxygen, reducing its ability for the other marine life. So that's why the Black Sea below the cyclocline layer, that cyclocline, and that was warmer and colder water being anoxics. So anoxic environment are offered unique scientist opportunity, enabling the study of the life in the extreme condition and process of the geochemical cycling in this oxygen, absence of oxygen. So some microorganism like anaerobic bacteria, archaea can thrive in this condition using different chemical process. So what is the problem? Oxygen level is very low, that's why marine life will not going to be survive. An anoxic environment can offer the unique scientific opportunities, but enabling the study of life, extreme conditions, and the process of geochemical cycling in the absence of the. So we can just study. This is important for the study conditions. And some microorganism like anaerobic bacteria, archaea can thrive in this condition. They can thrive only. And this recently anoxic marine basin may be among the most viable place conduct the large scale carbon sequestering in the deep ocean, and this is important for the sequestration of the carbon and carbon sequestration, that therefore it is important. So you can see this is the deep hypersaline anoxic basin. It is anoxine basin. This is anoxine basin, and there is a halocline. It is halocline basin, and normal salinity of the seawater and the seafloor. Now next one is the term biotrig is recently seen in news, is associated with a pyrolysis system which is run on the solid waste. So biotrig, that is a that is a pyrolysis system that is run, which is run the solid waste. If there is this solid waste, that will run in the pyrolysis system which is run on the solid waste, that is known the biotrig. That is known the biotrig. Biotrig utilize the pyrolysis and chemical recycling process that convert the leftover organic material into their component molecule. The waste is sealed into a oxygen-free chamber and headed above the 400 degrees Celsius. So the down to earth waste management technology, and that was useful for the, that is oxygen free chamber and the heated about 400 degrees Celsius. And biotrig is could significantly reduce the greenhouse gas emission by nearly 350 kg or CO2 equipment per capita. So indoor air pollution reduction by using the clean burning biofuel, and the biotrig aim to replace the dirty cooking fuel into the homes, and it will just converting the dirty cooking fuel that will now convert into the home cooking fuel. Okay, that will be in the clean cooking fuel, and thereby reducing the indoor air pollution. It will reduce the air pollution. It will reduce the air pollution, soil health improvement, and that will be the computer simulation suggests that biotech could significantly reduce the greenhouse gas 350 kg and indoor air pollution reduction by using clean burning bio oil. Soil health improvement, the system also utilize the bio to store the carbon while enhance the soil fertility. Clean power generation and syngas and the bio oil produced during this pyrolysis can help power the system in future cycle with the surplus electricity for the local home. So that was a bio oil and a electricity biochar biotrig. Biotrig is using as equipment and for the life assessment, cost benefit analysis, and business model innovation. So this is household electricity. It can also be generated, and farmland remediation we can take from this. Recently wheat blast was in the news. So it is a fungal disease of the wheat, and fungal disease of the wheat, that is known as the wheat blast. It is known as the wheat blast. Okay, so study claims that change with the wheat blast swarm crop yield could 75% of the South Africa and America. It is a fungal disease from warm and humid wheat production region caused by the pathogen and magnetophone or Orija pathotypes tritium. The pathogen can cause total loss to the wheat production and country in the state, and Brazil and curb the 100% yield loss. The devastating wheat blast outbreak was first reported Brazil. The disease was restricted South America Wheat blast was the one of the potential to cut the wheat production by 13%. South America and Africa will be most vulnerable region to wheat blast in the future climate. So there will be most wheat blast prone location due to the confluence of factor, including increasing temperature and the persistent leaf moisture, which foster the growth of the dissemination of the pathogen. The new study has warned the link between the warming and the climate and devastating fungal plant disease wheat blast. The disease currently poses a threat to 6.4 million hectare. Climate change is likely to make the situation worse for the 13.5 million hectare of the cropland. Consider about the Sangam digital twin. It aimed to demonstrate the practical implication innovation infra and to develop a model framework for facilitating faster and more effective collaboration. And digital twin technology is solution by creating virtual replicas of the physical assets and real-time monitoring. So it will just for virtual replicas of the monitoring, simulation, experimental, and the feedback loop to adapt the change for the achieving best outcomes and change for the best outlooks. So digital twins are the offer the solution by the creating virtual replicas. Okay, so it is a proof of the concept that is distribution two stage to be conducted in one of the major city of the India. First stage is exploring for the clarity of origin, creating exploration to unleash potential. Second stage is the practical demonstration of use cases, generating a future blueprint that may serve as a roadmap to that will serve as a roadmap to the blueprint and may serve to the replica successful strategy in future infra projects. So the initiative aims to demonstrate the practical implementation of the innovative infra planning to develop a model framework for faster and more effective collaboration and to provide a future blueprint serve as a roadmap. And that was a digital twin is offered a solution by creating virtual replica of the physical asset, and the initiative come in the bedrock of the past decades and in communication computation sensing era. And now with the initiative come in bedrock of the past decades and digital twin symbolizing the collaborative towards the 5G IoT. So it will collaboration 5G IoT AI AR virtual things AI native 6G technology digital twins and the next generation computations for the collective intelligence and public entity. Infra planners and the tech giants startup academia to break the silos and engage with the whole nation approach. Sangam bring all the stakeholder on the one platform, aiming to the innovative solution for the tangible solution, bringing the gap between the conceptualization and realization. Next one is consider about the statement stem cell can differentiate into the specialized cell type. So induced pluripotent stem cell can be generated from any cell type used in the regenerative medicine. Embryonic stem cell are derived from the adult tissues, and stem cell can be differentiated into a specialized cell type. So one and two, I think. So first one is a stem cell are unspecialized cell that have been potential to develop the into the very specialized cell known as the differentiation. Stem cell play crucial role development organism and the repair replacement of damaged tissue. So what is this is unspecialized. First is this unspecialized cell. Now it is going to convert into the specialized cell and that is for the replacement repair and रिप्लेसमेंट भी कर सकते हैं एंड डैमेज टिश्यू को चेंज भी कर सकते हैं It is iPSC are stem cell that are created by the reprogramming adult cell back to embryonic stem. Like this is achieved by the introducing specific gene into the adult cell, and this iPFC technique that is offered the grand promise for regenerative medicine because they can be generated from the patient's own cell and reducing the risk of immune rejection. So they have a potential to be used to treat the variety of disease and conditions like Parkinson's disease. Like Parkinson disease is also can be cured by this. So that is IPSC offer the great promise for regenerating medicine because they are generated from the patient's reducing risk. They have a potential to be used to treat a variety of disease and conditions such as the heart disease, spinal cord injuries, and Parkinson disease. So embryonic, this is also correct. Okay, embryonic stem cell derived from the early stage embryons and from the inner mass of the blastocyst. This is not from the adult cell. Okay, and this is from the blastocyst. Blastocyst and adult stem cell, on the other hand, are found in the adult tissues and have a more limited capacity. So therefore, only two are correct. Third one is incorrect. And you can see in this figure. So embryonic stem cell derived from adult cells. So that is incorrect. IPFC, that is pluripotent, that have a old type of regenerative medicine, and into stem cell can be differentiated into the specialized cell type. Okay. Now next one is, you can see this adult stem cell. Adult stem cell are undifferentiated cell for throughout the body. These are the essential for the daily healing of the growth replacement cell. And the embryonic stem cell, these are the derived from the early stage of human development, and they have pluripotent, meaning have a potential for differentiate any cell type. Okay. So now next one is, which of the following define the ecocide recently in news? Unlawful or wanton act committed with the acknowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and the other widespread or long-term damage to the environment. So that is unlawful or wanton acts committed with the acknowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of the severe and the other widespread long-term damage to the environment. So if there is a long-term damage to the environment, that is the ecocide. Ecocide like suicide is आत्महत्या, ecocide is the environment की death होना. So kind of ecocide is a term gained the traction in the recent discussion. It refers significant harm to the environment, and there has been calls to recognize it is an international crime akin to genocide. The term ecocide is often defined as unlawful or the wanton act committed with the knowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and other widespread long-term damage to the environment. So it aims to hold the individual, corporation, and the potentially government accountable for the actions that cause the significant harm to the ecosystem, wildlife, and human community. The push for the recognizing ecocide underscores the need for a stronger legal framework to prevent the environment destructions widespread and long term. The effect of the act must have a wide reaching impact across a large geographical area, damage that persists a long period, affecting the future generation. Unlawful wanton act, that was this encompasses action that are illegal under the current law. Is case there is not illegal or reckless and show the blatant disregard for the environment. The recognizing ecocide at the international level would be a significant step toward the environment protection, legal pathway to the prosecute major pollutant and they are responsible for the mass environment destruction, deterrent against the exploitation and damage of natural resources. This wanton act has been jurisdiction, scope, enforcement measure, and the political implication, holding the powerful entities consensus among the nations and the inclusion of the ecocide within the international legal framework. Consider about the Arctic Boreal Vulnerability Experiment. So it is a NASA-led field campaign aimed to the understanding now how change in the temperature and the water availability in the Arctic Boreals region affect the ecosystem, landscape, and service provided people. The experiment is primarily focused on the deforestation activity in the Amazon rainforest and its impact on the global climate pattern. The experiment is primarily focused on the deforestation. So that is actually not, that is not focused on the deforestation. Arctic Boreal Vulnerability is a NASA-led experiment aimed to the understanding how changes of the temperature and water in the boreal and the Arctic region, and that is provide the services to the people. So that is Arctic Boreal Vulnerability. NASA led a campaign that encompasses a broad study of the vulnerability of the Arctic ecosystem. Above seek to better understand the resilience vulnerability of the ecosystem, and hence that is geographical scope focus on the Arctic and the boreal region of the western North America encompassing the Alaska, Canada. Field measurement collection of the extensive ground based measurement and that was how the carbon storage in the Arctic and the boreal ecosystem is changing due to the warming temperature. And ecosystem service examination of the how changes in this environment impact on the environment change on the indigenous. And boreal forests are the dense forests found in the high northern latitude just below the Arctic tundra. And that was soil permafrost is also there. The soil often thin, nutrient poor, acidic with large area of the under permafrost which limit to the drainage and the types of the vegetation. And climate is a cold and winter, cool summer, participate in the relative low, mostly falling the snow during this winter. Geographical distribution is span across the North America, Europe, Asia, and covering the part of the Canada, Alaska, Russia, and the Europe. Definition: boreal forests are the dense forests found in the high northern latitude and the just below the Arctic tundra and by the coniferous tree. So this carbon storage, boreal forests are significant carbon sink, storing the large amount of the carbon and which has a regulate the global climate biodiversity. Despite the harsh climate, boreal forests are variety of the wildlife including the wolf, bear, moose, reindeer, numerous birds, and there are the less biodiverse compared to the tropical rainforest, but still crucial for the ecological. Consider about the cervical cancer. Cervavac is India's first indigenous quadrilateral human papillomavirus vaccine for the cervical. So name is the Cervavac, and that is the human papilloma virus. Okay, papilloma virus, and that is a vaccine. Cervical Cancer Awareness Month fall in the January and presenting idea of the WHO and its partner to spotlight the cervical cancer. So cervical cancers are in the cervix and that is lower part of the uterus. Most cases are the like to sexually transmitted human papillomavirus strain, which is the immune system often find the case the virus persists of the ear triggering the transforming the cervical cells. And that is the fourth most common type of the cancer among the women globally, second most common among women in the India. According to the study, India is account for the highest number of the cervical cancer cases in the China. More than 58% of the cervical cancer cases are the death globally estimated in Asia, with India's 21% deaths are there. India's inside rate of the cervical cancer 18 per 1 lakh women, and the based on WHO. WHO has a specified that the country must reach to the maintain include the at least 4 new cases. So to achieve the goal, one of the most important initiative was girl will have to be vaccinated with the HPV vaccine age of 15. Cervavac, that is India's first indigenous papilloma virus. It is designed to the combat the HIV strain type 6 type 16. So it is against the type 6, type 11, type 16, type 18, and that is immune response against the 4 different antigen like the various viruses microorganism. Cervavac employ the virus like particle akin to hepatitis B, and there is a hepatitis B vaccine. So it has obtained the approval from the India's Drugs Controller General, and that is public health use. This vaccine holds a significant potential to combat the cervical cancer, and that is going to be the combat the cervical cancer, and that could be cost effective addition to the vaccination. It is most effective when they administered before the sexual activity. So cervical cancer awareness month fall in the January, and it is presenting the occasion for WHO and its partner to spotlight the cervical cancer. This year our focus evolved to the goal eradication few generation, which serve as a central theme for the awareness. And what geological event is commonly referred to the Messinian salinity crisis, the drying up of the Mediterranean Sea. So what is Messinian salinity crisis? This Messinian salinity crisis, that is the drying up of the Mediterranean Sea. Drying up of the Mediterranean Sea is going to be dried up. So the known as the Messinian events of Messinian salinity crisis was a geographical event Mediterranean Sea into a cycle as nearly complete desiccation drying up. It was one of the most severe ecological crises, and that was begun the approximately 6 million year ago, lasted until around 5.3 million. It began when the connection between the Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea is cut off. This is due to the combination of lower sea level and global ocean collision between the Europe and Europe and Africa. So there is much of the evaporation and then the precipitation, and this means the much more water is leaving. Without a significant source of water from the Atlantic Ocean, this led to the evaporation of the much Mediterranean sea water. Large underground water from river headed deep in season into the bottom of the basin, like Grand Canyon, and that in depth of 2000 meters. So as the water Mediterranean evaporated, the salt that was in the water was left behind, and that is the halite and the gypsum. The two major salts are there, halite and gypsum. And however, the salt and Mediterranean did not deposit the floor of quickly, but this means the water was left in the Mediterranean become very salty, and this high amount of the water dry up until the almost no water left. It ended with the Janklin flood when the Atlantic reclaimed the basin. Okay, this is the Messinian salinity crisis. Next, consider about the regarding the black holes. They are formed when the massive star collapses at the end of their life, and they are boundary of the black holes beyond which nothing, not even light, can escape is known as the event horizon. Black hole can emit high energy radiation through the jets and the accretion disk. So that is a massive stars collapse. If there is a massive stars, they are collapses of the massive star. Second boundary of the black hole beyond which nothing, not light, can escape, known as the event horizon. And there is a event horizon. Next, black hole can emit the high energy radiation through the jets or accretion disk. There is jets and the accretion disk is also there. Accretion disk and the jets is also there. So the at the end of the life cycle, when the massive star exhausts in nuclear fuel, it is can no longer supports its own weight against the gravitational collapse. The star core collapses under its own gravity and forming a black hole. Depending on the mass of the core, it can be become a neutron star or the black hole, if depending on the mass of the core. Okay, so the black hole is formed when the core mass is more than about 3 times to the mass of sun. Agar if there is a core mass is more than 3 times of the sun, that means there is a black hole. So black hole's mass is 3 times of the sun. And the life of when massive star exhaust, if there is a star is exhaust and the nuclear fuel, it can no longer support its own weight against the gravitational collapse, and this is not going to support himself because of nuclear fuel is not there, so it can no longer support its own weight. The star core collapse हो जाता है under its own gravity and framing है. So खुद की ही gravity होती है, and star जो होता है that is going to be collapse. It will be collapsed. Okay, and depending on the mass of the core, and it will depend on the mass of the core, it can become a neutron star or black hole. A black hole is formed when the core mass is more than 3 times of the sun. अगर 3 times of the sun है mass जो, then black hole बनता है. Okay, so the star's core collapse, and the event horizon is a boundary of the black hole beyond which nothing or not even light can escape. Event horizon का मतलब होता है कि उसमें से कोई भी light pass नहीं हो सकती. This is because the gravity of the black hole is so strong. क्योंकि gravity जो होती है black hole की, that is so strong. So that is curves the space time to such an extent that light cannot be escaped. The event horizon is not a physical surface but a region of space where the escape velocity is equal to the speed of light, and size of the event horizon depend on the mass of rotation of black hole. For the non-rotating black hole, the radius of the event horizon is called the Schwarzschild radius, and it is proportional for the mass of the black hole. Black hole can be emit high energy radiation through the jet and the accretion disk, and jets are stream of the plasma and through the powered by the rotational energy, and black hole are the magnetic field. Accretion disk and disk of the gas and dust that are gradually fall into it. Okay, so that is the, since all the three statements are correct. So first one is, you see, this is black hole singularity, very center of the black hole where the matter is collapsed. Now relativistic jet, where the stars are absorbed by the black hole and jets are the particle and radiation blasted. So photon emitted from the plasma near the black hole, and which bends their the trajectory. And accretion disk is the superheated gas and the dust where around the black hole is immense speed producing the electromagnetic radiation. Now the Hindu Kush Himalaya region is often referred to as the water tower of the Asia. In this Hindu Kush is the Sardaira and Amudaira, Yangtze rivers, Indus rivers, Mekong river and the Yellow river. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 that 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. All of fives are there for the Hindu Kush Himalaya. So Sirudaya, Amudarya, Yangtze, Indus and Mekong and Yellow. So the Hindu Kush Himalaya, one of the most biodiverse region of the earth, high mountain Asia comprises of the mountains of the ranges of the Tian Shan, Kunlun Shan, Pamir, Karakoram, Hindu Kush and of the course Tibetan Plateau in the Himalaya, which is 3500 km in the span of the 8 country, is a home to most of the snow and the heights of the earth outside the pole. So this is the 3500 km in the height 8 country. Sirudaya, Amudarya, the Tarim towers of the Taklamakan, and the Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra towards the Arabian Bay of Bengal, the Yellow River towards the Gulf of Bengal, Gulf of Bohai. Bohai is near the Yellow River, the Yangtze towards the East China Sea, and the Mekong towards the South China Sea. So Yangtze will going to be towards the, this is going to be the towards the East China Sea. It is going to be towards the East China Sea, and the Mekong, that is the South China Sea. South China Sea. Okay, so the Chidwan and Salween Irrawaddy towards the Andaman Sea, and Irrawaddy, Salween and the Chindwan the Andaman Sea. The water tower of the Asia provides the essential ecosystem such as the clean water for the third of the world population. It is estimated for the warming nearly 2 times average, and the water tower of the Asia provides the essential ecosystem for such as the clean water for third world population. It is estimated to be warming at nearly 2 times the average rate of the warming in the northern hemisphere. Since the river have their origin in this region, therefore correct. Now next one is, which of the following true statement about the Nagoya? It required prior informed consent from the country or the community providing the genetic resources before then can be assessed. So information or consent about the country community providing the genetic resource, about the genetic resources before they can be assessed. So that is about the this Nagoya Protocol, international agreement that aim to ensure the fair and equitable sharing of the benefits arising from the utilization of genetic resources. It also provides a framework for the implementation assess of benefit sharing, and that is the mechanism based on the principle of informed consent, which is mean the country or community providing the genetic resources must give the permission before they can be assessed the user. The user must also agree to share the benefit arising from the utilization of the genetic resources. Therefore, the protocol does not establish a global fund to support its implementation, but rather relies on the existing financial mechanism. It does not allow the transfer of genetic resources without the benefit sharing, but rather these conditions are the respected throughout the value chain. So Nagoya Protocol providing country user be assess application and permit the met terms and the benefit sharing. So that is the national regional regime, but the rather required country to adopt this regime in accordance with the own legal system of circumstances. And that is about the provider country. Consider about the purple frog. Purple frog is often dubbed as a living fossil. It has a similarity to the Suglosauroides family of the frog in the Seychelles supporting the Gondwana. It is believed to have a coexisted with the dinosaurs and Western Ghats. It is listed endangered category. So what is 2 is correct here. The often is a living is a fossil and living fossil, and the family frog is Seychelles and supporting the Gondwana landmass. It is believed to have coexisted with dinosaurs and endemic to the Western Ghats. Though this is amphibian was a endangered category red list. Early it is assessment. It was moved to the near threatened. Now presently purple frog is in the near threatened category, not in the endangered category. Okay, so that is about the purple frog. And Tamil Nadu is the home 2 types of the purple frog. So that is the Nasika Bhattachyus and the Sahyadrisis, and the Nasika Bhattachyus and Bhupalti, that is Annamalai hills of the Coimbatore, is one of the prime habitat for the purple frog of Tamil Nadu. that is the emergence of moist soil after the first monsoon, and about the habitat, and that is after the mating to the frogs, the female that can also almost rise in size male. Now next one is about, this is purple frog. You can see the habitat loss and road network through their habitat, and climate change is the most threat to this purple frog. Consider about the black neck crane. This listed the Schedule 1 and Wildlife Protection Act of the 1972. India has the highest population of the black neck crane, and it is reversed by the Tibetan Buddhist because of the legend. Previous incarnation of the Dalai Lama was carried from the monastery to monastery on the back of holy birds. Okay, so that is the black neck crane is a medium-sized crane in Asia that is the breed of the Tibetan plateau, remote part of the India and the Bhutan. Okay, 2 is correct here. It is written grey with the black head, red crown patch, black upper necks. It is listed the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act. They have according to the highest degree of the protection. Okay, and now this is important habitat for the black neck crane have been notified the protected area of the Changthang Sanctuary, Ladakh, and China has the highest population of the black neck crane. China has the highest population, and here is given the Tibetan Buddhist because India has the highest population, so that is not true. So China has the highest population of the black neck crane. Okay, and it is reversed by the Tibetan Buddhist because as per the previous incarnation of Dalai Lama were carried out from monastery to monastery back the holy bird. Okay, so that is true. Okay, now next one is a Wildlife Institute of India Geological Survey is carried out the assessment of black neck crane, and that is the Sokar wetland complex, an important foraging and breeding ground for the black neck. So Sokar wetland complex is very important for this. Okay, now next is recently seen in the news the Hanuman as a India AI model, that is Bharat GPT. So Hanuman is launched. India is express, that was the group of IIT Bombay announced that will be the Chat GPT like service. The backed by the Reliance Industry and the Department of Science and Technology build the Hanuman series of the India language model. That collaboration of the Hanuman is a series of large language models, and that was it Hindi, Tamil, and the Marathi with a plans to expand the more than 20 languages. Hanuman is designed to work in the four field of the including the healthcare, governance, and the financial service. Notably, the series of the just a chatbot but a multi-module AI tool which can be generate the text, speech, and the videos and more multiple India languages according to the Bharat GPT. One of the first customized version is a AI model of this fine-tuned healthcare using the medical data AI model for the this. So that essentially the Hanuman is a series of large language model respond to 11 Indian languages of Hindi, Tamil, and Marathi. Hanuman has been designed to work in the fuel field including the healthcare, financial services. Notably, series is not just for the chatbot but multi-modal AI tool can generate the text, speech, and the videos. And one of the first customized version is the Chat GPT AI model for the healthcare, and AI model for the billions of the 40 billion parameters. So large language model can use a deep learning technology for process of this text. They work for processing of the amount of data and trained to identify the meanings and relationship between the words. The greater the amount of the training data models is fed, and the smartest will be there. Okay, smartest Wikipedia, open web text, and the common crowd corpus, and smarter get at understanding the produced text, and this contain the large amount of text data models used to the thousand and the generating the natural languages. The char recently news is related to, that is the sandbar or the river Iceland. Char is related to the sandbar and the river Iceland. The riverine area of the river Brahmaputra located known as a chapori, and that is follow a peculiar pattern of the migration. They are subjected to erosion on the upstream and the deposition on the downstream, due to which they is migrated. This affect the geometry and the location of the char during the flood almost every year. These remote areas have not seen the fruit development in significant manner because of the limited accessibility. So riverine area of the river Brahmaputra locally known as a Char Chapori riverine area. Okay, that is the Char Chapuri, and the physical, sociological, and institutional constraint on the development of the Char, such as the virtual absence of the all-weather communication with the main banks and the reliable means intra and inter-Char mobility, integrate the growth of the transport basic infra for the surface road. Consider about the regarding the super pollutant and the climate clean air conferences. The climate and the clean air conference is organized annually by the Climate and the Clean Air Coalition. It is international collaboration to phase out the short-lived climate pollutant or the super pollutants. Methane, black carbon, and the ground level ozone are some of the most common super pollutants. So all of three are true. The super pollutant and the climate clean air conference was there. The Climate Clean Air Conference organizing the annually for Climate and Clean Air Coalition. This international collaboration to phase out the short-lived climate pollutant and methane, HFC, and the black carbon and ground level ozone are some of the most common super pollutants. So there is the annual meeting of the Climate and the Clean Air Coalition will take place in the 21 January Nairobi, Kenya of the margin of the 6th session United Nations Environment Assembly with call for the international collaboration to phase out the short-lived climate pollutant, super pollutants such as the methane, black carbon and the hydrofluorocarbon, and that is the 6th session of the United Nations Environment Assembly with a call for the international collaboration to phase out the short-lived climate pollution or the super pollutant. Climate Clean Air Conference is organized annually by the Climate and Clean Air Coalition. Call for the international collaboration to phase out the short-lived climate pollution and the super pollutants. So methane, HFC, black carbon and the ground level ozone, some of the most common super pollutants. And that Climate and Clean Air Coalition to reduce the short-lived climate pollutants, and UNEP and the 6 country Bangladesh, Canada, Ghana, Mexico, Sweden, and this is aimed to catalyze the rapid reduction of the short-lived climate pollutant to protect the health of the environment. Methane emission from the human activity like fossil fuel, agricultural such as animal raised for the meats and dairy, rice cultivation, and effect of the methane. Methane is responsible for 0.5 degrees Celsius of global warming, and methane traps over 18 times more heat in our atmosphere than the carbon dioxide. Existing technology could cut methane emission by the 40%. So that is Climate and Clean Air Conference 2024, that is Nairobi and the Kenya. And now Iris and the Massalia recently in the news, that is asteroids. So for the first time presence of water molecule on the surface and shedding the light on how water is distributed in solar system, and that is a stratospheric observatory infrared astronomy SOFIA, and SOFIA is which is a telescope mounted in the NASA aircraft formerly operated by the NASA and the German Airspace Center, and that was the forecast instrument about the SOFIA is revealed that two of the asteroids known as Iris and the Massalia. Iris and the Massalia, and they are the water molecule surface according to the recent study. Water found in the surface of the asteroids, and scientists made the discovery using the data gathered by the NASA now SOFIA Airborne Observatory. Considered about the regarding climate smart agriculture, it's a smart agriculture aim to achieve the food security, sustainable development by addressing challenges of the climate change. It includes the practices that reduce the greenhouse gas, and the approach solely benefit large scale industry has a limited relevance for the smallholder farmer. That is actually not true. So climate smart agriculture designed to increase the productivity and strengthen the farmer resilience against the climate change, reduce the agriculture contribution to climate change while lowering the greenhouse gas, seeks to achieve the food security, sustainable development goals. That is true, and it is the main goal for to maintain mitigate the climate change, reducing greenhouse gas. Include the variety of the strategy, improving the crop rotation, adopting no till farming. So जीरो टिलेज हो जाएगा यहाँ पे, ठीक है, जीरो टिलेज, crop rotation, enhancing the efficiency of water fertilization and livestock management. By doing this is help to making the agriculture part of the solution to climate change rather than the problem. Climate smart agriculture is relevant and the beneficial too for the farming and including the smallholder farmers also. Okay, so this is the smarter inclusive inductivity and aim to the ensure the agriculture contribution to climate change. Now next one is ensuring increase the productivity, enhance the resilience and reduce the emission. So therefore that is important. Now, regarding the Bharat 5G portal, it is international portal to the comprehensive platform serving the interest of startup, aimed to feature the future tech experts and pan USA. It also launched the recently Department of Telecommunication on the sideline of Bharat Telecom. So that is a one-stop solution for the IPR, POC and 5G, 6G related capturing academic R&D development, and aims to propel the 5G capabilities of collaboration, and also feature the future tech experts and the collaboration with the Puneet USA aid to the guide telecom. It was a recently Department of Telecommunication Bharat Telecom Expo being organizing the telecom equipments. 5G rollout is among the fastest in the world, and India has been second largest telecom network that world has just surprised that world with the development of the indigenous 4G and the 5G in the short span of time.